There is a man who spent years of his life studying why he couldn't stop gambling. Not to write a memoir, not to get therapy, to design better casinos. His name was Bill Friedman. He was a gambling addict who lost years to the floor of Las Vegas casinos, chasing losses, sitting at machines long after any rational person would have walked away, unable to explain to himself or anyone else why he kept going back. When he finally stopped, he did something unusual. Instead of walking away from the world that had taken so much from him, he walked toward it. He got a degree. He became a professor at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, teaching casino management. He consulted for casinos across America, and he wrote a book, a 689-page book called Designing Casinos to Dominate the Competition. In it, he documented every single thing a casino could do to keep a person inside longer, spending more, losing track of time and money and their own better judgment. He didn't write it as a warning, he wrote it as a manual. And the reason this story matters to you, right now, today, is that everything Friedman figured out about keeping people trapped inside a casino has since been quietly rebuilt inside the apps on your phone, the subscriptions that are difficult to cancel, the social media platforms that feel impossible to put down. The casino didn't stay in Las Vegas, it came home with you. This is the story of how the gambling industry engineered human behavior and what it accidentally taught every other industry on Earth. Bill Friedman's 13 Principles of Casino Design read like a confession from someone who understood, from the inside, exactly what had been done to him. Remove all clocks, remove all windows, make it impossible for a person inside the building to know whether it is day or night, morning or midnight, whether they have been there for an hour or 6 hours. Friedman didn't suggest this because it was clever. He suggested it because he knew from his own experience that time awareness is one of the few defenses a person has against staying too long. Keep ceilings low, dark colors, tight spaces. Don't give the gambler room to look up and out, and remember that a larger world exists beyond the machine in front of them. Make the immediate environment small, focused, intimate, not because it's comfortable, but because a smaller world has fewer exits in the mind. Put gambling equipment immediately inside the entrance. The moment a person walks through the door, they are already surrounded by the thing the building wants them to do. Don't make them walk through a lobby to find it. Make the lobby the casino floor itself, so the decision to start playing is not a decision they make, it's simply what happens when they walk through the door. Design the floor as a maze. Not obviously, nobody should realize they're in a maze, but with curved pathways and irregular layouts and no clear route from the entrance to the exit. If you're trying to leave and you keep passing slot machines, there's always one more chance to feed a bill into one, and every extra minute inside the casino is, statistically, more money for the house. Friedman published these principles in the late 1990s. By then, most of them were already standard practice in casinos across America. He hadn't invented the techniques, he had simply been the person honest enough to write them down. Here's where the story gets interesting, because the thing most people think they know about casinos turns out to be only half true. The lie isn't that casinos remove clocks and windows to disorient gamblers. That part is real and documented. The lie is what that design actually achieves, and whether it's the most effective approach. Because at the same time Friedman was consulting on maze-like, low-ceilinged, windowless casino floors, a designer named Roger Thomas was partnering with Steve Wynn to build something completely different. Thomas looked at Friedman's principles and said something that should have been obvious but apparently wasn't. People don't want to make high-risk bets when they feel trapped. Anxiety and disorientation are not states in which human beings make large, generous, impulsive financial decisions. If you want someone to bet $500 on a hand of blackjack, you need them to feel safe, relaxed, comfortable, like they're in a place they actually want to be. So Thomas designed the Bellagio with high ceilings, natural light, wide open spaces with clear sight lines, European-style furnishings, flowers everywhere, genuinely beautiful, carefully maintained flowers, because Thomas believed that beauty creates a sense of ease, and ease creates a willingness to take risks that people wouldn't take when they were stressed. He described his philosophy in an interview with The New Yorker. If you think about it, the traditional layout makes no sense. People don't want to make bets when they feel trapped or overwhelmed or confused. That's not the mood you want. The Bellagio opened in 1998. It became the most profitable casino in Las Vegas. So the brilliant lie isn't that casinos use psychological manipulation to keep you inside. They do. The lie is the specific story most people believe about what that manipulation looks like. The dark maze, the disorienting labyrinth. The more sophisticated version of the manipulation doesn't make you feel lost. It makes you feel so comfortable, so welcome, so at home, that leaving feels like the strange choice. Both approaches are manipulation. One just works better. The environment is only one layer. Underneath the architecture is the device that generates most of the money, and it is a piece of engineering so precisely calibrated to human psychology that researchers have compared it to a pharmaceutical. In 2024, Nevada's casinos generated $15.6 billion in total gaming revenue. Slot machines alone accounted for $10.5 billion of that, more than two-thirds of everything. Not tables, not poker, not sports betting, machines. The thing you sit in front of alone, press a button, and watch spin. Natasha Dow-Schul, an anthropologist at New York University, spent 15 years studying slot machine design for her book, Addiction by Design. What she found was that the most addicted slot players are not playing to win. They already know they will lose. On a long enough timeline, everyone loses. They are playing to stay in what she calls the machine zone, a state of mind where daily worries, social demands, and even physical awareness of the body fade away. The machine isn't entertainment. It's a chemical state accessed through a mechanism. The design of slot machines has been engineered around producing and extending that state with extraordinary precision. Near misses. A near miss is when 2 out of 3 matching symbols appear on the reels, with the third landing just above or below the pay line. It looks like you almost won. Your brain responds to it like you almost won. The same neurological response as an actual win, triggering dopamine and the urge to try again. Slot machines are legally required to be random, but the visual presentation of the results is not. A machine can show near misses far more frequently than true randomness would produce, because near misses keep people playing longer than clean losses do. The gambling industry has known this for decades. The machines are built this way on purpose. Sound design. Every casino sound you hear has been chosen and tested. The coins cascading sound of a jackpot, which hasn't existed in most modern casinos for years since physical coins were replaced by printed tickets long ago, still plays from speakers because the sound alone triggers the same anticipatory response it always did. Machines are programmed to celebrate small wins loudly and absorb large losses quietly. You will always hear when someone nearby wins. You will rarely be reminded of how much you've spent. Speed. The average spin on a modern slot machine takes between 3 and 5 seconds. That means up to 20 spins a minute. A person playing at that pace, betting $2 per spin, can lose $2,400 in an hour without making a single conscious decision to keep going, because the machine is designed so that not pressing the button again is the action that requires conscious thought, not pressing it. In 2001, a researcher named B.J. Fogg established a lab at Stanford called the Persuasive Technology Lab. Its purpose was to study how computers could be designed to change human behavior, not to inform, not to entertain, to change behavior. The lab's work was foundational to the design philosophy of platforms that now have billions of users. The techniques Fogg students documented and refined: variable reward schedules, infinite scroll, notification systems that create urgency without providing genuine information, the removal of natural stopping points, are structurally identical to the techniques Friedman documented in his casino design manual. Variable reward is the core mechanism of every slot machine on Earth. You don't know when the reward is coming, which makes it impossible to rationally decide when to stop seeking it. The same mechanism is in every social media feed ever built. You scroll because you don't know what the next post will be, and the uncertainty of not knowing is more compelling than any specific thing you might find. The removal of natural stopping points. Casinos are designed so there is no obvious moment when it makes sense to leave. Infinite scroll on a social media platform removes the bottom of the page, the natural resting point where a person would put down a book or close a newspaper, replacing it with more content that loads automatically, so there is never a moment where stopping is the default. None of this is coincidence. The engineers and designers who built the attention economy were studying these systems and applying them consciously. In 2017, former Google design ethicist Tristan Harris said publicly what many in the tech industry already knew.
I was a design ethicist at Google, where I studied how do you ethically steer people's thoughts. Because what we don't talk about is a handful of people working at a handful of technology companies, through their choices, will steer what 1 billion people are thinking today.
The casino didn't invent human vulnerability to these mechanisms, it just discovered them first. Bill Friedman died in 2019. His book is still referenced in casino design literature. His principles, the low ceilings, the maze layout, the elimination of clocks, are still present in older casino floors that haven't been renovated in the style Roger Thomas made dominant. The global casino industry generated $227 billion in 2023. The attention economy, the platforms and apps designed on the same psychological principles, is worth trillions and touches more people, more hours per day, than casinos ever could. Here's the thing about a well-designed casino that nobody tells you. When you're inside one, you don't feel manipulated. You feel like you're having a good time. You feel comfortable, or excited, or focused, or numb. The specific feeling is different in every casino and every machine, but the absence of the feeling of being manipulated is precisely the measure of how well it's working. The lie isn't the dark maze. The lie is the idea that what's happening to you is a choice. The techniques the gambling industry spent decades developing to keep people inside casinos are now inside every device you own. Understanding how they work is one of the more useful things you can do, not to stop using technology, but to understand when the button you're pressing is actually pressing you.